Hey guys, and welcome back. So today I'm answering 3 questions. How do you get into candle making? What are the initial costs of starting to make candles? And where did I buy some of my items? If you guys haven't already, subscribe to my channel and please like this video. How to get into candle making. Now, getting into candle making is actually much easier than you guys would think. It obviously depends how much money you want to spend on it, but let's just go through the essentials you will need. So first you'll go out and buy a candle wick, as I'm showing you guys. That's how it goes onto your candle molds. If you guys don't want to buy a candle wick, you guys can just use some popsicle sticks. They work just as well, so you can use that instead of buying a candle wick. So what are these sticks actually for? They're to hold your candle wick in its place. Now the candle wick is the thread, so you want to make sure that when you're making your candles, they are straight. That brings us to number 2, which is our thread, so make sure you buy that as well, because that's what's going to be making your candle actually work. Next was a good pair of scissors, because that's what you're going to be cutting your candle wick with. And thirdly is that needle that I just showed you guys. You guys can also put it in your mouth to help thread it through the needle. Now, this needle is to poke holes in your molds. Your molds do not come with holes in it. I didn't know that. So I ordered, I think, 4 candles first time round, and I couldn't make anything because I couldn't poke a hole in them. So I recommend getting this needle. It is the perfect size for your thread. It will be a little bit difficult to thread your wick through, so you might need to put a bit of, put it in your mouth to get a bit of saliva on it, or just dip it into water and then twirl it to get it through. But it pokes perfect holes for your candles. They're not too big or too small, so they don't allow any of the wax to go through. Next essential is getting a stainless steel pot. Now I got this in a kit for €9 on Temu. It came with a few other things. I'll show you guys that later. So this you would definitely need so you can melt your wax. You guys can buy it off wherever you want. Just get a stainless steel pot, which you only use for candle making. The second pot that you guys can see was just some old one that was going to be chucked out, and I used that so I can make my double boiler. So in the old pot I put water. In my new stainless steel pot I filled that up with wax, and that's how I melted my candles. So you guys will need to think about how you're going to actually melt your wax. If you guys are just going to be buying soy wax, then you can skip this next part. But if you guys are interested in what you'll need if you guys are melting or rendering your own wax from your bees, then this is what you need. So I grabbed these 2 molds. Now we used to use these for ice. I use them because once you've cleaned your wax, then I put them into those molds to make it easier for me, so then I can melt them later on. Next you'll need a sifter. Now you can either use cheesecloth. If you don't have cheesecloth to put over your sifter, I just use this clothing safety bag, which protects some of your clothing that you put into the dryer or the washer. So I put that on top of my sifter. And then you also need a bucket, which was just a bucket I found around the house. So most of these things you can just find around the house, just like these ice cube molds. But now that I've used them for my wax, I'm not using them again for ice. You can't use any of this stuff in the kitchen again. I just recommend having separate stuff just for your candles. So the last essential thing you'll need is your actual candle molds. Now you guys can go out and buy molds like I did off Temu or Shein, or if you guys know a store close to you, go buy it there. If you guys want, you can also not use these silicone molds, and you can go buy some nice old teacups to use that you can pour your wax into and make candles. I've seen that done so many times and it's really cute. Or you guys can go buy some other type of glass container that you want to put your candles in. Initial starting cost of candle making. So buying your molds, it really depends on what sizing you get and what type of mold you get. So I had molds starting from €1, which was the smallest, the teddy bear mold, all the way up to nearly €6 for mold. I didn't pay any more than €6, especially if you're buying this off Temu or Shein, they will be quite cheap. Obviously look at the different sellers, because different sellers obviously sell for different prices, and I try to find the cheapest ones I could get. So certain molds of these I found they could have been anywhere from like €10 to €15, but I just didn't buy them straight away. I kept looking until I found molds that were cheaper. So based off how many molds you get, you can spend anywhere from like €10 to €40 depending on how many candle molds you get. Remember that these molds you're going to be using forever, so I don't really see it as a waste of money at all, especially if you're going to continue making candles. You can keep reusing these molds over and over again, so I do see this as an investment. Even if it's just a hobby, because you guys can even put in silicone and make them clear, or you can even put in some type of like cement. I know there's lots of stuff at art and hobby stores or even online that you guys can buy that you can pour into molds to make cute ornaments. So after you bought your molds, then I wanted to get a kit. So this is what I showed you guys before, which was one of the essentials. I recommend getting a stainless steel pot just for this candle making. And I actually found one on Temu and it was only €9.23. I thought this was really good because it also came with a spoon, it came with 2 candle wick holders, it came with the wicks and the stickers. Now these I couldn't use in my molds because the wicks and the stickers are more for if you have something like a teacup and you want to put it into the base, you stick it onto the base and then you just pour your wax into it. For the candle molds I had, or any candle molds that you're using something where it's going to take a shape, you're going to want to buy the candle wick on a string. So let's get online. Now you guys can use Shein, Temu, whatever other platform you guys are comfortable with ordering stuff online, or whichever other store, but this is basically what I did. So first I went into Shein and I found candles, so I just typed in candle molds and I looked at the pricing on Shein. Now I did find that Shein does give out a few more bonuses. Like obviously you want to compare it to Temu, so that's what I did. I went on to Shein, then I went to Temu. You want to look at their photos, you want to look at any reviews that people have given on it. If they've put any photos, definitely order the candles that show you their sizing. So that's what I did a lot, is I got like a ruler out, and whenever I looked at a candle, I would make sure I found in details what size it was. So on Temu, they were pretty good with that. I could find the sizing quite easy. On this product now, I couldn't find the sizing of it, but most of them do have sizing, so make sure you look at that so you don't get disappointed if it's too small or it's much bigger than what you wanted. So a thing that I did like about Shein though is that they do give you extra points. Like if you've got the app, they do give you points every single day, and they normally don't have a minimum order. I didn't find that I had a problem with the minimum order of ordering products, so it was good. While on Temu, most of the time didn't let me order stuff unless it was above €20. Obviously that depends, you guys will see. So now I went on Temu, I did the same thing. I typed in the candle molds, it comes up with heaps of candle molds, and then I thought just to show you guys can obviously tailor this to whatever you want. So if you want to look at Christmas ones, then you type in candle molds for Christmas and it comes up with all these cute designs. Then for the candle wicks, as you guys can see, you can find the thread on Temu or on Shein. They're quite cheap, so I just kept looking through just to try and find obviously the best discount I could get. And you guys can also find the molds, the candle wick holders, so that's on there as well. So you guys can choose to do that. I bought the kit that I showed you guys before, so if you want, you can also go and buy just a kit that has a few things. I thought it was worth it because I wanted quite a few different things. Like when I was looking at how much the candle stainless steel cup was, it was like quite expensive. So I thought, well, if I'm going to buy it, I might as well get a few other things basically like thrown free. So I thought that was a really good price, like around €9 to buy that pot, and then I got all this other stuff for free that are reusable, so I just jumped on that deal. So you guys can look into that as well. Now let's look at the last thing you guys will need, which is the actual wax. Now I put this last because I already was lucky enough to have beeswax. So you guys can also look into soy wax. I do recommend getting beeswax. It will be more expensive, but you guys know that it's from a natural source because beeswax comes from bees. While soy wax, there has been studies on it that's not so good for you, that can lead to cancer and a few other things. That's why a lot of people are saying not to just go and buy random candles from people unless you know what material it's made from. I'll leave this up to you guys. Obviously, you guys can do whatever you want, but that is my recommendation. So as you guys can see, there is different pricing between the soy wax, and I just figured out here that the 500 grams is actually better getting 2 bags that were 500 of that white beeswax rather than getting the 1,000 because it worked out cheaper. So you guys can look at different deals. Obviously, when I eventually do this, if I run out of wax, I will go onto this site and I will look at what the best deal is I can get. So all up, to get the best experience and to get everything that you might need or want for candle making, I recommend putting anywhere between 50 to around about €80 to the side to do this hobby. Now you won't need, €100 for this hobby, but obviously it depends how many molds you want to get, if you get any kits, how much wax you're buying, what type of wax, if you're buying like a more premium one. So to be like 100% safe, I would do anywhere between 50 to 100 euro. That will give you the flexibility to buy basically anything that you want without leaving anything out. And it will also give you enough resources that you can keep making different candles. Don't forget, this is just the initial cost. You won't be buying the molds again. Your candle wick will last you ages. So all you have to worry about is buying more wax. So that is it, guys. We answered our 3 questions: how to get into candle making, what the initial cost of starting candle making is, and where I bought most of my items from and where you guys can go buy yours from too. So now in the description below, I will be putting any details that I mentioned in this video. I will be putting links as well, and I really hope you guys ask me any other questions you guys have about candle making. Please don't forget to subscribe and to like this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye!